If you're feeling lost, if you want to connect with your intuition and you want to have a stronger mindset, then stay with us and watch this episode. No.
I need to stretch my butt.
Hello, welcome to Women's World Podcast. Irmina here today, as usual, and today I have a guest. My guest is Stephanie. She's the expert of Kundalini and ice baths. It's going to be an interesting conversation, so don't leave us. Listen up. So I will start with Kundalini now. I have to be honest, like I was never really open about my spiritual side on social media, but actually I am spiritual. And this August I have done my most crazy experience, and that was Ayahuasca. If you don't know about it or you want to know my experience, just comment below and I will tell you more, or maybe even make a video about it. For me, it felt like a rebirth. And it just was crazy. It was so intense. There are no words to explain it. I found myself in many ways, in different ways. I see things from different perspectives. And definitely I'm more positive and more motivated the whole time. I'm not saying that it's for everyone, and probably you also don't say that about Kundalini. But it's very, very beneficial. So what I also want to share, that even the scientific fact is that after ayahuasca use, more than 80% of subjects showed clinical improvements that persisted at 6 months. So it means that they were not depressed. And indeed, this is what I can't feel. I could never get depressed, it feels like. But now I am 4 months post or 5 months post ayahuasca. We'll see how I feel afterwards. But so far, this is exactly what I feel. So just more happy, actually. So around that time, when I had to do my ceremony, this is when I actually got to know Stephanie. I already booked my ceremony in August, and then I saw that she was doing Kundalini. Actually, it really drew my attention, and the way she is about talking about life and how spiritual she is and what a strong mindset she has. I thought, this woman is crazy. I need to meet her, and she needs to be here today. So that's why, hello, welcome, finally.
Thank you.
Yes. Please, tell me more about Kundalini. What I saw, I didn't do it yet, but I booked my session tomorrow, so I'm coming tomorrow. And what I found on the internet was that when Kundalini and Shakti begin to ascend, we can live our lives with a deeper transcendental awareness and understanding, defined purpose, and incredible power. Is that correct, that Kundalini awakens? It brings heightened awareness, incredible energy, clarity, and spiritual awakening.
Yes, it's true. So your Kundalini energy is actually your life force energy, and they often show it as like two snakes, your Shakti and your Shiva, that are situated here. And when they awake, they're going to go up and down. And when your Kundalini is truly awakened, it's possible that your intuition gets better, also that your life will change, that some people don't resonate with you anymore, so that you will take some distance from people. A lot of other people who are more in line with you will like come into your life. It can be easier to make certain decisions. Maybe you're going to quit your job and just going to do something totally different, and often you feel more centered with your own energy and more in peace.
Okay, that sounds a little bit like the alternative of ayahuasca. Just ayahuasca probably is more intense.
Mm-hmm. And you use a substance.
Yeah, we get something there. And it's 8-hour trip actually. Mm-hmm. So, and you actually have to die before you have to experience the death experience before you enter the whole vision trip. And no, it's not scary, by the way. It's not. It felt just so peaceful and so right. And indeed, like you say, all of those things, I felt that as well. The centeredness and cutting off some people from my life and just feeling what's right. But I read as well another interesting thing. I heard that it releases sexual feminine energy, removes the blockages from your body, helps to deal with the sexual traumas and stuff. Is that correct? Have you ever healed some woman that has sexual traumas yourself?
It is possible, but I first want to say something about a misconception there is, because a lot of people think I will do Kundalini and then I will make like the big movements like often you see in the YouTube videos.
Yeah.
It's not how it is. It's possible that you will make a lot of movements, and when it truly awakes, your body just guides you to the ways or like to the movements you have to make, but it's not necessary. Like if you just have a calm session, it doesn't mean that it didn't work or that it was not good enough. So that's the first thing I want to say about it.
Does it work just after? Sorry to interrupt, but does it work just afterwards sometimes? Because that's what people have it on ayahuasca too. They just say,
Sure.
I don't feel anything. And then they come out and all of a sudden their life starts changing 100%.
Yeah, it's always like a process that you start, and like it's not something you do now and then it stops it again. It's like something that continues.
Or something.
I often have people who say like, I don't think I felt anything, or I didn't have like the physical sensations, but they were like with their hands in mirror, but they were not aware of it. And I often get like people or like women in my sessions that went through sexual abuse, or like just men crossing their boundaries, just trying whenever they said no. And I don't know if everyone get that in their sessions, but I do have a lot of women who experienced.
Okay. Can you tell any examples of some women that really went through a lot, and how many sessions do they had to take? Is it one-time session that's effective, or do you need to repeat them?
It really depends on the person. Like there's no guideline, or like I will never say, okay, you need this many sessions. It's very personal for everyone. Some people, they can easily let go and just interact with the energy. But for other people, like the ego is there, and then they want to like, oh, I felt this, but then they want to like find an explanation for everything. So
Right, to control everything.
it really depends on the person, how easily like all the blockages open up and like the energy starts flowing. So yeah. But like I see a lot of women, even like women who didn't have like any sexual abuse, that are really tuning in more into their feminine energy, because like once the energy is flowing, they make like the movements and they really feel like, oh, I love myself. This is my temple. Like I'm going to get more confident. So
they remove the insecurity.
Yeah. And for me, like I personally experienced some sexual abuse when I was like young, I think like 23.
Yeah, you told me.
And I've done a lot of Kundalini sessions before I started facilitating. And I realized, or I noticed, like after I think like 4 or 5 sessions, I could really like feel like the abuse again. It started happening again. I could feel like the energy like coming together, and then it was like coming all the way up, and I felt like I had to vomit, like not for real, but like energetically vomiting. And I just started screaming so much, and it was like disconnecting from the trauma. But yeah, I was 23 back then, so for so many years I told myself, okay, this didn't happen. So yeah, you don't lose it or disconnect from it after like 1 or 2 or 3 sessions. Like I've been doing this work now for like 3-4 years, and there's still every time a little piece of the trauma that's coming to the surface. So
do you also do the ceremony? You follow the ceremony as well, or you just give the ceremony?
No, I followed. I think I did like maybe 30 sessions before I started doing the training.
Okay.
And even now, like sometimes I go to a colleague to join their sessions.
Yeah.
Or I do so many other ceremonies as well.
Yeah. Is there something you can advise for the girls that have been going through it? Should they definitely just make a decision and go for something like that, or should they wait until they're ready, or what would be your advice?
I think you really need to tune into your own energy and like feel like, does my gut feeling says like I'm ready. But yeah, I don't think you can like really prepare to release the trauma, because it's going to be painful. It's going to be sad again. But just feel or listen to your gut feeling, because all the answers are there. So, and yeah, you can try Kundalini, or maybe like a plant ceremony, or what also helps is like if you have a partner, because a lot of people struggle with the partner, or they say like, I still feel like insecure sometimes, or I feel like my body is contracting with my partner, even though I know that he's like very loving and it's not with bad intentions, just communicate about it. I have the same with my partner. Sometimes I feel like, or whenever he's touching like the inside of my legs too fast, feel my body is like, I don't want this. And I'm also like struggling, and like my mind is telling me like, okay, Steph, he's loving. It's not a bad intention, but I communicate with him like, look, I'm not in the mood because you touched too fast some part of my body. And I just explain it, because if I would ignore it and like keep it for myself, then I'm suppressing the trauma again.
Yeah, maybe the ceremonies, I don't know if it's probably with Kundalini the same, but ayahuasca also helped me in a way to express my love language different. I guess tomorrow Kundalini will help me even more. But indeed, all of those insecurities and stuff, sometimes they're blocking you off, or indeed sexual trauma, abuse. And sometimes we girls, we women don't know how to express ourselves, or we don't know what to say. And at that moment, we just block it off, because everyone has a different way of communicating and solving problems. Some people really just need space, and then they take the space and then they talk after. Some people block it off completely. Some people talk it in the right moment, talk about it, and some people just let it be and then think about it afterwards that it was a mistake. So there are so many different ways, but I think the more that, like you say, if you release the energy more and you work on that with ceremonies, with the sessions, or just other spiritual ways, I think you will be also more relaxed about it and more willing to say the real thoughts, what you're thinking. And that's what I think we have often a problem. So we just don't say what we think. And
and often it's like, sometimes people say it's because I don't want to hurt the other person. But sometimes that's not the real reason. You're scared to say what you think or feel, because it's not because you don't want to hurt the other person, but the reaction that she or he will give you can maybe hurt you or make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's often what it is. Like, if I say this, like, will he still like me? And I can, if he's going to give me an answer, then how do I need to react? But I think it's just super important to always express how you feel, what you like or don't like, and never let someone cross that boundary. Because otherwise you also cross your own boundary.
Or could be also fear of rejection. Yeah, it's maybe a little bit the same, but indeed I had this insights lately as well. It keeps coming indeed after ayahuasca, still 6 months past, still keeps coming to me, like my growth, developments, so what's wrong with me, where can I get better, what's good about me, the also appreciation for life is there, and the fear of rejection, something I never really wanted to admit, I guess, and now I realize it's there. So, but that will be for another podcast anyway. Anyway, indeed, these are things that can block us off completely. And if you're not let's say if you're not spiritual and you don't know how to work on your feminine energy, I suggest just to always go like to dance classes, do maybe yoga, or just hang out with a woman. Just do feminine energy.
Or like even painting, or...
Is there something you also suggest if you're really not spiritual, or you're against it? Or you never meet people like that?
But I think that what is spirituality? Because like people think
It's a big word.
I need to do like yoga or like dive into certain things, but just like being aware of yourself, of who you are, it's also something spiritual. And what I also love to do is like just painting. Whenever I feel sad or like I don't know how to express my emotion, I just take like a big canvas, some paints, and I just use my fingers and I start like putting my emotion on canvas.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Because then you're not like really thinking or overthinking. You're just expressing what you feel in the moment.
Okay, that's a good idea. Maybe she'll try.
Dancing, sometimes just jumping up and down to release the energy. Like there's so many ways, just like listen to the body, what the body needs.
Yeah, exactly. Well, talking about the sexual abuse and stuff, I want to share a little story that I saw on Mike Tyson documentary. There was a girl, she claims that she was raped by Mike Tyson. like many others probably for the money too. But who knows? Maybe there are some things really going on. What he said, his side of a story was that they went to the hotel and he said, "Get naked. We will have sex." But for her, it was too rude. It was too rude for her, and she ran out of the hotel. She claims that he raped her, that he went there, he took her by force, and she sued him. But now my question is, like, how do you know as a woman if I'm just playing a victim? Because it's hard reality, but sometimes it is. Am I playing a victim, or was it a real rape, or was it an abuse? And did you see this in other women when they come to Kundalini, or from your own experience, how did you deal with this situation?
Yeah, you cannot really know if they are a victim because it's their story. And maybe in that moment they felt like a victim. Like if it was too rude or too loud, like it's also your perception of the situation. So
how you see it from
for him, maybe he was just clear and he said, like, look, I really like you.
Yeah.
Get naked because I want to have sex with you. He just expressed what he wanted in that moment.
That can be a man. Like, come on.
And they simply just say what they like. They see a pretty woman, get naked. Yeah. I want to have sex with you. From her point of view, maybe, we don't know what happens if they really have sex.
I don't know you.
Maybe for her it was like too violent, or like, so she was maybe a victim at her point of view. But it's also, I think, just like, setting boundaries. If you don't like it, then don't do it, then don't go there. But it's also part of a process often. And maybe through that situation, she learned a lot. So I don't think we really can say like, this is the victim or she's not a victim, because you never know how it feels for that person in it.
The end of the story was actually also that I remember now. The end of the story was that she wanted to be a partner, like she wanted to be really in a relationship with him, but he didn't really want serious relationship. He just wanted to have sex. And that was, I think for her, like how I see it, she was mad. She was just really angry, and she said that he raped him. And that's why sometimes I don't know what even to believe. Are people just mad and saying that someone hurt you and you're the victim, or they're really, really, really hurt? And is there something really serious that happened? So,
yeah, maybe she was hurt, like not in a physical way, but just like emotionally, because we don't know the story. Maybe they spent more time together. She was really like showing her heart or letting him into her heart, and then she's hurt.
Yeah, a breakup is also heartbreaking. It hurts. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, I'm curious how it's gonna be tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm following it. So as an ayahuasca as well, you're fasting, you're not drinking any stimulants?
No, you're just like, you can still eat normal, only try to like the 2 hours before the session. Do not drink coffee too much and like not eat anything, then your stomach is like kind of empty. Otherwise there's a lot of in between for the energy to like
I think the more pure you are, the better, I guess. Tomorrow I'll probably not eat much, and it's okay, because that also teach me in ayahuasca. I fasted for 26 hours before the ceremony. It was my own choice. You don't have to, but it was my own choice, not alone for the purging, but just because I really wanted to do the best of it. This is the only time, maybe first and last time I'm doing this in my life. I want to make it worth it. I want to sure feel something. I want to sure come out with a lot of insights and have this effect for a longer period of time in my life. And that wasn't 1 or 2 months, even preparation. I did dieta. You know what it is? It's like, it's a full detox. So I was vegan. I didn't drink alcohol, no coffee. What I did have before was a coffee addiction. And apparently ayahuasca really fixes that. So I don't know if Kundalini does. Like you stop with all the addiction.
Yeah, it can fix certain things.
Of course, you need to put it intention.
Yeah, and it always gives you what you need.
Yeah. So, well, if you're looking for answers, and that's what I was looking for, like man, can't I survive a day without a coffee? But it was at some point 3 coffees per day. I just couldn't see my day going through without stimulants. And actually before the ceremony, I had to quit completely with caffeine, and I was really cold turkey. I was shaking, I was nervous, I had headache, I was angry, I was tired, I was everything but not healthy in my opinion. But then I went through that period, that 1 week of cold turkey, and then I saw, whoa, this is actually clarity, not taking stimulants.
Mm-hmm.
Because with stimulants, you think you are more aware, more heightened, but it's the opposite. So less stimulants is more awakening. And
Yeah, of course.
yeah, you feel more and you think more clear and your thoughts are more organized. So yeah, I quit caffeine completely. And sometimes, of course, I still enjoy in a cafe or something, but it's not a necessity for me anymore. And yeah, what I wanted to say with all the preparation for me, it was exciting. I was asking you, is there something I need to prepare? Because I missed, in a way, the preparation of ayahuasca, because then you have a goal and then you're going for it and you know you have to stay vegan, you can't eat meat, and you start looking at things different. You start to have different type of energy. You start to feel the energy from other people also way more intense. It's like you can tell even from eye contact if it's a good vibe or, okay, I need to take this for me. And that was just, I was so sensitive and so aware of everything around me. So then, yeah, that was also a part, no sex for 10 days. That wasn't difficult if you have a partner, of course, you need to explain. And I just wanted to be pure as hell, like the purest I can. And afterwards, it still stays. You enjoy the food and stuff, but it takes a while before you come back. But the moment you are back into your old habits, like I'm not really fully in the old habits, but like junk food, I still enjoy in the weekend and stuff. And it gives like this guilt feeling of like, do I really need it? Like I actually enjoy with ayahuasca preparation. I saw how much more I enjoy the food.
Yeah, but I think you also don't need to be too hard for yourself, because we don't need it, but we're living in a society that's going so fast, and like sometimes you don't have time to like make something healthy.
Yeah.
So what I always tell to my clients, even like after the Kundalini session, try to eat balanced for as long as you can if you want to stay in like this high energy. But like, I will tell them, like, if you go home now and you really want to drink a glass of red wine or you want to eat like a slice of pizza, then don't feel guilty, because the guilt is even worse for your body.
Yeah.
Because it's giving you stress and it's not good for the stomach, than just eating it in the moment and just enjoying it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's also true. That's also a good perspective.
And like I do it in my own personal life. Like me and my boyfriend, we almost only eat healthy. So we never go to a supermarket. We buy everything at the farm, grass-fed meats, raw milk, raw honey. We even make our own body lotions, shampoos, and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, you're really also.
But it's really a sacrifice, because it takes a long time.
It's a habit you have to.
It's really a habit. I stopped drinking alcohol since July. Even before, I was not drinking a lot, but I saw that it's like conditioned by society. Like the weekend, Friday evening, Saturday, you go have dinner or like just to drink with friends, and automatically I was ordering like Aperol or like a red wine. And I was thinking, why am I doing this? Because is it because I really like the taste, or just because it's like going like this automatically because everyone is ordering something? And then I just decided to quit for like 1 or 2 months, and like today I'm still not drinking.
Yeah, okay.
So we are only eating healthy. And like every now and then, like this weekend, for example, we had like visits. So we made like a few things with gluten and sometimes we also eat kebab, some rice and meat. But like, I think it's like once a month.
That, Dr. Huberman, he also was saying that the biggest mistake, the biggest error in the society is like, if you don't drink when you're out with friends, they're like, what's wrong with you? Or like, what's up with you today? You're not drinking?
Yeah.
That's bad. Actually, we should be saying like,
And how good did you take care of your body?
Take care of your body. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I had the same. My friends were like, "What? Why you don't drink? You're not an addict.
Yeah.
You don't have like alcohol problem." I was like, "No, but I'm choosing for myself that I want to like just not drink for
Quit completely.
as long as I can to see what it does with my body. If it's like suppressing certain emotions, because also like, with my boyfriend in the beginning, yeah, obviously you have a lot of sex because you just know each other, got to know each other, and then yeah." But I was thinking like whenever we come back from a party and I'm just drinking a couple of glasses, like you have sex and you want to reach this like ultimate state, but I was always going up and then I was not getting there. So I was thinking like maybe if I stop drinking, those couple of glasses maybe like suppress the things that I feel. And that was my biggest goal why I stopped drinking, just to see if that would be different, like sexually. And yeah, I just never started drinking again.
It definitely still
because I don't need it. I don't need it. And like, it's also like a thing when people party. Sometimes people they tell me like, "Oh, I could never do that. You're just dancing without alcohol. I need few glasses."
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's wrong. It's wrong actually.
Afraid to.
Yeah, they were thinking too much. Like, how do I need to move? When people look at me like, I know, and then they just drink a few glasses to disconnect from the minds, and then they're just tuning into their own energy.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can also like not drink and just.
Yeah, that's something I'm also working on in my workshops, in the sensual dance workshops. I let the girls close their eyes and pick a partner, and the partner has to touch them. And when they touch them, they have to slightly start moving that part of the body. I'm gonna post this tonight, but it was just so beautiful to see. Yesterday, I cried. I really cried because of just the joy and the goosebumps that I had, how people really open up when they feel not judged.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just simply because they were with closed eyes. Just that. And then they were like, "Oh, really? That looked good." I was like, "That looked awesome." And yeah, mirror is just our enemy, actually.
Yeah, sure.
We are our enemies. Yeah. Anyway.
I experienced that as well when I was doing a television show, $1 Million Island. We were on a desolated island and there were no mirrors. So when I came back from the island and I saw myself for the first time, I was like, okay, this is how I look. And it was weird. And then I started realizing like it's our enemy. Because if there's no mirror, we cannot like compare. You can only look at yourself like this and you cannot compare like, oh yeah, she is like a nice body, like mine is not like this. You cannot compare yourself. So
yeah, I think the confidence also and the self-worth comes from within. It comes from inside. It's not what you see in the mirror, because of course it's good to see yourself in the mirror and to be happy and proud of yourself, the body you achieved or whatever. But for some people it's not the case. For some people it's too confronting, and it's less confronting to actually work on the self-development, which should be the start of everything. The self-development is the start of everything. Yeah. So you were saying, did I just heard? But you were saying you were on TV?
Yeah.
On which?
$1 Million Island.
And what was that about?
It was just like an island. There were like 100 people who got dropped on a desolated island, and we had to try to survive.
Okay.
So catch your own food or your own fish, or sleeping on the beach, just on the sand.
So you're really connected also with...
Yeah, you're super connected with nature. You're not eating a lot, just like a banana, coconut, like maybe some crabs. But yeah, your body is empty and you're like more sensitive for everything around you.
Mm.
So it was a really nice experience. And you're not like, you don't have to go to the supermarket anymore. You don't have to do anything. You don't have any feeling of time.
Yeah.
Because you cannot see what time it is. Mm-hmm. You're just living on a rhythm of nature. And there's like space to deal with emotions, because we're always so busy in society. We should do this and this and this. And we never take the time to really deal with our emotions. And there, like, a lot of things were just coming to the surface. And I was like crying when I was just floating in the water. And I was like, okay, there's still like some sadness that has to come out of my body. I don't know really what it's connected to, but there is still something that I need to face.
Before or after your Kundalini
I was
works?
Just right before I started doing the training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was maybe also an eye-opening for you, that society.
And I really felt like when they dropped me back into society, I was like, okay, what we do here, that's surviving. It's not living. What I was doing there, that was living. I didn't have to do anything. I was just like staring to the ocean for like 4 hours, picking my own banana from the tree, and then you come back and you have to spend so much money just on the basics. Even if you see now, like
You have to pay for the banana
like
now.
a roof, a house, electricity, water, you're easily paying 1,500 euro a month. And it's just for the basics. You're not even living and doing what you really like. It's just to be like part and number in this world. So for me, it was like, whoa, this is surviving.
You know, when I did ayahuasca, for me, one of the biggest factors why it went so great was also the guides, the shamans and the guides. Drinking the plant medicine is definitely, like you say, it's already everything you need. But when there's someone like softly dancing, chanting, or playing music and helping you out whenever you need, this is so important. And I feel like they really made the whole thing perfect. Also the cooking afterwards and everything like that. So tell me about it, because you were mentioning that you started also guiding with mushroom ceremony.
Yes, indeed. A couple weeks ago, I did my training, and I guided my boyfriend in his first plant medicine session with mushrooms. And I already did a lot of sessions by myself. Peyote, I did before, I did mushrooms, truffles. And I think guidance is really, really important. Because like if you do it on your own, like sometimes people tell me, why you don't like take some mushrooms and you go to the forest because everything's moving.
I've done that.
It can be nice, but like
that was awesome.
Yeah, but
Awesome. But
what I personally prefer is like just stay in a safe space, environment, and dive into your inner process. Because like this we see every day. Okay, it's cool and it's like
it's
wavy, but
with those plant medicine and all those kind of things, if you are doing it outside the environment of the ceremony room or ceremony place, whatever, or this jungle, then you're just absorbing the environment, sort of.
But then it's like, do you really use it to like connect with yourself, or is it more like because you want to trip? And there's like a thin line between those. But how preferred is just like, people come, we will put like some intentions, we will do some rape just to like ground.
Also with mushrooms.
Before.
Also put intentions with mushrooms.
Yeah, of course. And I let them just like put their own amounts in like a cacao, because it's easier to drink and it's a heart opener as well. And they just put the amount that they prefer and then put it in their own cacao. They blend it. They can like make connection with the medicine already, and then they drink it. And then I just guide them through breath work in a session, because it takes about like 20-30 minutes before the medicine starts working. So what you can often have is like the shiver and like getting really, really cold. And I experienced, if you do like some breath work before, during the time that the medicine needs to like really start working, then you're so busy with like the breathing that it's often easier to like get into your process, and you will not experience like the coldness and shiver.
Yeah.
And there's like not so much like fighting of the ego, or like, is it working already? How many times I'm already waiting? Like, so it's easier to just like dive into it.
Or like meditation.
And then we also use like sometimes like Spotify, some music. Sometimes we switch to like a drum, or like some other instruments, like a rain stick, or I have some other tools. Different sorts of instruments.
What would be your advice for people that want to do something like that, but they are afraid to do something spiritual? Like they're looking for themselves, they're looking for answers, they want to set their intentions, but they don't know where to start. There are so many things. these days you can choose anything. You can do ayahuasca, you can do Kundalini, you can do the plant medicine, the mushroom trip, and there are plenty other ones as well.
There's so many options. I just
How to choose where to start, and if you're really afraid, what would be your advice? How to make the step?
I think you just listen to your gut feeling again. Like, don't make a decision with the brain, or like not say to yourself, okay, now I'm going to do ayahuasca because everyone is doing it.
Yeah.
Just feel, is this something that I need? And your body will tell you. And just inform you well, because there's a lot of people who are doing this work these days. And yeah, just feel like if you have like a good connection with that person, because I also often saw some people and they tell me, I'm work with this medicine or this medicine. But if I feel like, I don't know if I would follow that session with that person, if I could like surrender myself. And if you already have that feeling, like, I don't know if I can surrender with this person or shaman or like guide, then don't do it. Just listen. And like, you always need to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And but just the right intention. Don't do it because everyone is doing it, and don't think like, oh, this is like a wonderful medicine and like I'm going to do ayahuasca or like any other thing. And the next day I'm healed and my life will completely change, because that's not what it is. You get like insights and answers, but you have to apply that in your life. And yesterday I had a talk with my friend. He said, I also know a girl from the Netherlands, and she was like totally lost, and she said, okay, I'm going to do ayahuasca. And she decided just to go to South America all on her own. And she went to the jungle to do ayahuasca, and she got into a coma. And she was in South America for 2 months in a coma. And they had to bring her back to the Netherlands, and like, she couldn't talk well. And like, there was an entire process. And that's also her process, by the way.
Yeah.
But she was thinking, okay, I go there, I take this medicine, and then everything will be clear for me.
Maybe also a lesson she had to learn in her life.
Yeah, but she was not doing it for the right reason. Before, she was taking a lot of drugs, and she was like, okay, now I'm going to do ayahuasca, and like, I will have like an amazing trip, and I will become better.
Yeah.
Put the right intention and like make it very clear for yourself what you want to get out of it. But yeah, that was her process. Like, if you abuse the medicine, then it also shows you what you need to see. Like, some people take mushrooms in a festival and they have like a bad trip. It's because, is your intention to get your answers, or is it just to like see all the colors and party in a different environment with music and people, and yet you also absorb because you're more aware, you're more open, more sensitive. You also absorb all the negative things.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you abuse it, you also get your answer, and you can have like a very, very bad trip. I got that when I was 16. I tripped for the first time when I was 16 on a festival. It was a Goa festival, a psychedelic festival, and I think I took like LSD for 2 days straight without sleeping, and like I was partying, and then I saw all the colors, and it was amazing because I was 16, and I was not busy with like, will I get answers? It was just like, oh yeah, I didn't like my reality. I never fitted in, and that was my moment of like letting go of everything.
Yeah.
Until one person reached out to me, a guy who was much older. He also tried to get me into his van, and I started freaking out, like, oh, leave me alone. And he was also touching me, and then I got like a very bad trip.
Yeah.
Because I was not doing it in a safe space, and it was like I didn't touch any psychedelics anymore.
Yeah.
For more than 14 years.
Okay.
I was so scared of psychedelics. When people talked about it, I was like, no, that's drugs. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
I was like against, because I had like a very, very bad experience.
Yeah.
Now that I do it in like safe environments with like the right guidance, it's totally different.
Yeah, exactly. That's maybe also the biggest step, that if you want to do it in a place where you feel safe and where you have good recommendations, that the people really had a good experience.
And don't do it on yourself. A lot of people do it on their own.
Yeah.
I suggest always like to have a friend with you who stays sober, like just in case.
In ayahuasca it's not the possibility. You cannot do that, but you have the guide.
No, but like mushrooms or truffles that people do it on their own at home. You can do that.
Yesterday, like you just said about the girl. Yesterday I met another girl, a girl for the first time, and she had a ayahuasca trip as well. But impulsively went just without intentions because her boyfriend did it, and she did in a jungle in Puerto Rico. But the outcome, of course, was good also. But as comparing with mine, I saw that there were some gaps, and maybe it was not as good as mine, because mine was really guided with the shamans and with the guides, and it was very calculated. You cannot drink so many shots after this hour. Timing, everything was just so well thought through. And with her, it was a bit. Yeah, it was like you come there. It's a jungle. There is a shaman. He they're singing a bit. Yeah. Then he gave the drink, and that was it. You cannot choose more or less. You cannot say what you feel, or they just come to guide you a little bit next to you. But it's still, I think it's more wild. Like it's really in traditional way how they do it in jungle. But here you have so many good centers, healing centers. And
I think it just depends.
Make your research and just go where you feel safe.
But still, maybe that's the process that she had to go through.
Yeah,
and next time she
definitely
will think think more about where she wants to go. Because I did one in the jungle as well in Mexico.
Yeah, okay.
And I was like, I also did it very impulsively because like all the people from, was a peyote.
Peyote?
Yeah, it's like a cactus.
Okay.
So it's also a drink that you get, and
but the outcome is also similar.
Yeah, you see visuals, you feel things, you get answers. But everyone in my hostel where I was staying, because I was staying in a hostel where we did like temazcals, and like that community went to the jungle, and they told me like, Steph, if you did with the right intention to get closer to yourself, it's not a drugs, then it's just like a medicine. So I started thinking fast, and I decided, okay, I will do it. But I didn't really did a diet or anything, and it was like very impulsively that I decided to go. And my fear was like insects and all sorts of animals in the jungle.
Yeah.
So we were living there, but it was also really strange. There was like 60 people, like so many. The shaman was not talking any English, and like everyone who was able to translate was drinking by themselves. So I didn't really feel safe to really sink into my process, and we were just laying on like a piece of plastic. I put just like some blanket and a towel, for it was like so uncomfortable, like just in the middle of the nature. There was like bugs everywhere, and like that was my fear. And after my first cup, I was like tripping a bit, and I saw like colors and like the vibration of the nature. All of a sudden, I felt like things falling on my body. It was like, what the fuck is this? And put my eyes, and I see like so many bugs, like cockroaches, and then like everything. I was like trying to get rid of them and like burning them with my lighter. And at a certain point, I realized, okay, Steph, maybe you're making this up in your own mind. Maybe it's not real.
Just say it.
So I kind of got comfortable with it, and then eventually, so many hours later, when it was completely sober again, there was like a bunch of dead and burned bugs. So they were real. Nature really gave me what my fear was.
Yeah.
But I didn't drink much after the first cup, because I was like, I don't really feel safe. Everyone was just like getting away to like go to the toilet somewhere between the trees. But
when you're walking,
like it's dark. There was, for me, it was not a good guidance. But for so many other people, they were like, oh yeah, this was perfect. So it's very personal.
Yeah.
And I personally prefer like a good guidance. And also like sometimes you can hang into a loop. If something is repeating and repeating and repeating. So it's good if you have someone with you who's like guiding you out, or gives you like a little bit of rapping in between to sink in or like ground again. And also like if you have the drums, they can be like very powerful to go deeper into a certain wave. So
nice. Right. So I'm excited about tomorrow. Really curious what it will bring me. I already have so many insights after ayahuasca. I can't imagine that if there is more, but I believe there is always more to learn, and can't wait. We'll see you then tomorrow with that. Now telling me also you did ice baths. Let's go change the topic a little bit. But this is something I want to cover up as well. I was always very fascinated about it because I just do still cold showers every day, and it takes some sort of discipline, some sort of strong mindset. You need to kind of really force yourself into it, even on the days you really don't feel like it, or you're super tired and you just want to crawl in the sofa and put a warm blanket around, but then you still need to take your cold shower. That's hard, but it's so relieving also at the same time. And it's a bit addictive because once you do it, you feel like you cannot really, if you just take a simple shower, there is something missing and you miss that feeling of the heightened dopamine, I guess. So tell me about your experience, why you did it, what benefits you got from it. Why would you recommend it to someone to do it, to our listeners, and why 33 minutes? How?
I got to know it like a couple of years ago, so I started just with like cold showers. I started reading the book of Wim Hof, so like the breath work, followed by cold showers. And then like a couple months ago, the guys of Biohackers reached out to me. They also have like a podcast. They invited me, and there I did like my first real cold ice bath for 22 minutes back then.
For the first time?
Yeah. No, it was not the first time. I did a lot of cold showers, and then like I experienced a few ice baths, but that was...
First time, how many minutes did you sit?
The first time, I think only like a couple of minutes, like 3 minutes. And then they invited me. So I was like... Before the podcast, everyone goes into the ice bath. And I was just planning to do like 5 minutes because after 5 minutes, you have the benefits. And so they told me like, yeah, for the women, like the record for the women is 6 minutes. So I was like, okay, there the ego comes in, my ego, like I want to go over those 6 minutes. And then at a certain point, he said like, yeah, at the guys records is 15 minutes. So I was like,
50 or
15? I was like, I'll do 16 then. It was really my ego talking. And then at a certain point, we were like at 17 minutes. And it was a few minutes before, like, I don't know what time it was, like, let's say 3 o'clock. And I was like, okay, then I just go to 3 o'clock. And then I did like 20 minutes. Then I said, okay, no, we're going to do 22 because like, yeah, with the angel numbers, I want to just have like double number. And it was the first time that I did such a long time. But
was it the first and the last time?
No, but the warming up afterwards was like pretty intense. I was not prepared for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, your fingers and your toes are really burning, and I was like sitting in like a sauna for a while. But I was shaking so much, so they put me under a shower. And then yeah, I felt really great actually because I think it took me like only the entire week that I was like really calm down. I could not stress. I was like really relaxed. And then I kept going with the cold showers. But for me, the cold shower is more challenging.
Yeah.
Because when you dip into an ice bath, like you're surrounded with cold water and you're heating up actually. The shower is like the water is never touching the entire part of your body. So it's like, oh, this is annoying. And then like I think a month ago they did another event. So I went there, and I was not planning to like beat my own records because like I did like the week before I did the buffalo ceremony, so I was like very sensitive to everything, and I was gonna get on my period as well. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do 5 minutes. But then they told me like someone broke your records, so we went over 22 minutes, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna challenge myself again. And then, yeah, all of a sudden I was at 33 minutes, and then I felt, okay, you reached your maximum because I couldn't do more.
Yeah.
My ego could have done more, but then it was hard afterwards.
But that's also dangerous for your heart. And
yeah, it's actually not that good to like do a long amount of time because it is beneficial, but only till a certain amount of minutes. And then you're losing all your energy again.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, sometimes I just like the type of events, I just like to challenge myself. To see how strong I am, or like
to push the boundary.
Yeah, even though my body says, okay, you have to get out now because it's cold. Like how strong my mind is. Like, no, you can keep going. Just like try to get over that shiver and like try to become comfortable with the uncomfortable, because we're often or easily tempted to say like, okay, this is not nice. This is something I don't know, so I'm gonna quit. So I'm gonna stop.
Or they don't even start doing it because it's too uncomfortable.
Just challenging yourself.
What are the best benefits? So you sleep well afterwards?
No, you sleep well. You're less stressed because the heartbeat goes down with a couple of beats per minute. Regeneration of the cells. So yeah.
What's the difference between cold shower benefits and the ice bath?
I think it's like I'm not an expert in ice baths, but yeah, cold showers. Is it 16 degrees? The coldest it can get. The ice baths that the guys make are like half degree, even under 1 degree. Sometimes even minus a half. So yeah, it's much colder.
It's probably comparing something like when in Russia we cut a hole in the lake and then we just jump in a water. That's something like that. The temperature.
Yeah, that's even colder, I guess.
Yeah.
In the lake, yeah. If it's frozen, it's even colder.
Yeah, I just think with the ice in the bathtub must be really minus something. Yeah. All right. So, is there anything else you can still say for today to round up? How to become stronger in your mind? What are the things you should do first if you are feeling lost? And how to do the step? Yeah, how to just go for the things.
I think it's just very important to take time for yourself, because we're often busy, and I get people often say, yeah, but I have time to relax because I have a drink with friends. So that's not relaxing. Just like take some time for yourself, sit with yourself, and just try to feel like, what is my next step? Because your body knows.
Yeah.
And then just like setting your boundaries.
Yeah.
Also towards friends that are family, because it's often the most difficult, because we're scared to disappoint people, or we're not in the mood. But yeah, I promise it, so I will do it. Like, if you feel like I don't want to do it now, then just communicate it. Always communicating openly, because other people won't understand you if you're not clear of what you want. And just like, don't be too impulsive. Just look very good into all the things, all the information that you can get. Try to have like different options. But yeah, even if you're impulsive, that's part of the process as well.
Yeah, and
you always get what you want. Yeah.
Yes. So thanks for coming today. Thanks for being on my podcast. Welcome. And I'll see you tomorrow again.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.